Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. Welcome to class. Welcome to Kick and Push Legs and Core. My name is Alex, health fitness specialist at the McLean location, and I'll be instructing you guys on today. So again, welcome to class. I feel like it's been a while since I've seen you guys, since you've seen me. So today we're going to have a little bit more of a simplified workout. We're only going to have 4 exercises. We're going to split the 2 up between 2 intervals, 2 10-minute intervals, and we're going to be purposely simplifying it down that way so we can focus a little bit more on these individual moves and these muscle groups. All right, so today we're going to be focusing on the glutes. All right, so we're going to attack the glutes and we're going to be getting the inner thigh. All right, so we have multiple gluteal muscles. They do different things, but primarily we're going to be targeting the glute muscles that oppose adduction, or the movement your inner thighs do. So we're going to be hitting still hitting the major movements of the glutes, the gluteal muscles, but we're just going to be focusing a little bit more as well on the inner thigh. All right, so we're going to get started here in about a couple minutes, about 1 more minute. Go ahead and start your workouts on your watch. It is. Go ahead and remind yourself to log it later, whatever you got to do. All right, so it's that time. Let's go ahead and get warmed up. All right. So first, we're just going to start with some simple hip openers. All right, so bring your hands behind your head, or you can bring them on your hips, and imagine you are stepping over an object. All right. We're going to have a few modifications for you today as well. Do your best to keep your torso straight. You want all the motion and the movement to come from the hip. Keep that toe pointed up, lift that knee high. And we're going to go backwards now. Imagine you're stepping behind, stepping over something, stepping backwards. Still same as before, do your best to keep your torso straight. As much motion will come through the hip as possible. And we're going to go right into a back lunge. Nice and easy. You guys had some time to check out the workout list. We have our first 2 exercises are going to be a curtsey lunge with the hip hitch, and we're going to have seesaws as our ab movement. One more, come into some nice gentle squats. Bring it down and up. Screw those feet into the ground each time you come down. So screw those feet into the ground. Hold that tension that you create when you twist your feet into the ground. Make sure you're activating those glutes. Squeeze those glutes from the bottom. 2 more. Drop the butt back and chest forward. All right. Now we're going to come right into down dog. And we're going to push back the hamstrings a little bit and sag the hips. Alternate. Just going for 5 repetitions. 3. Drop those heels to the ground. Get a nice stretch in the hamstrings. Push all the way back, keep those quads tight, and back to the high plank. We're going to push right back. 2. Going for 10 reps here. If you need to drop your knees onto the ground, go ahead and do so. Otherwise, do your best to keep your knees elevated. 8. We're going to flip over right into hip thrusts. So flip it on over. So lift the hips. and drop. Just 10 reps. Bring those heels close to the glutes. And at the top, squeeze those glutes nice and tight. Clamp down on the abs. Exhale as you push up. And there we go. All right, go ahead, come on up. And got one more move. All right, so come to a split stance. Just a Cossack, slight Cossack. Try to keep your hands on the ground. And from side to side we go. Just 5 total on each side. 3, 4, and 5. All right, we're ready to go. So our first 2 moves, like I said earlier, we have a curtsy lunge with a hip hitch. All right. So of course you can do this with weight. You can do it without weight. It's up to you. All right. So you're gonna start off in your curtsy. If you have one dumbbell, go with opposite foot, opposite leg, opposite hand. So if you have dumbbell in your left hand, you're gonna step back with your left foot. Otherwise, you can do 2 hands. All right. So curtsy lunge, bam, back and across. Hip hitch is you come up. Once you return to the top of the curtsy lunge, you're going to hitch your hips to on the leg that you're standing on. All right. So I'm stepping back with my left. I'm hitching with my right foot planted. Your left foot will come off the ground a little bit. All right. So to simply think of this move, it's like you're just standing up on one foot, but you're pushing your hips as far as you possibly can to the side of the foot that's elevated to kind of hitch that hip up toward the ceiling. All right, you're trying to hitch your hip as high as you can. So we have 10 on both sides, and our core exercise is going to be a seesaw. All right, so we've done this before. Legs up, torso comes up, and then torso goes back down, and you just keep alternating. Do your best to keep your legs elevated, but you don't have to. You can drop them if you need to help get your torso up for that seesaw. All right, so we got 10 minutes, and with just these 2 moves, 10 of each, continually. All right, so here we go. Starting off with the curtsy lunge and hip hitch. All right, let's do it. And we got 10 on each side. It's lunge and hitch the hips. There's one. So our glutes are heavily involved in this move. Our inner thigh is heavily involved in this move. So this right here is stretching the inner thigh and the glute. And here is all glute. We're working on the glute medius. That's the gluteal muscle that helps to abduct the leg or lift it out to the side. 5. The other gluteal muscle we'll be hitting is the extensor, the one that helps to bring the leg behind, extend the hip. 8. 9. And I'll notice I am taking my time, going for quality of reps as always. Okay. Ooh. Should be feeling a burn here. Okay. So remember, step that leg back and as far across as you can. That's stretching the glute, and it's stretching the inner thigh. Don't forget to hitch those hips. Do your best to stay on one foot. You can bend that front leg if you need to. A hip hitch your hips up toward the ceiling, like you're trying to lift your hip toward the ceiling. 5. It's a little bit easier if you have an elevated surface. So if you have something that you can stand on, that'll elevate your feet a few inches off the ground. That'll be good. That'll help you with both moves. 7. Ooh. You should feel this right in your hip muscles. right on the sides of your hips, of your pelvis. 9, just under 8 minutes. 10. All right. Whew. And seesaws. So don't bring the legs too far up. Stop the legs once they become parallel to the ground or perpendicular to the ground. That's as high as you want to go. 2. Control your torso on the way down. 4. We're generating movement with no momentum with this ab move. That's why it's so good to do. One more. Whew. And of course, if you want to add more, and you don't want to do 10, you want to do 15 or 20, go for it. All right, here we go. Back to the curtsey lunge. We're just about halfway through. Try to keep your torso straight. Bring that leg back and across. As far as you can. Holding good form. Oh, and I forgot my hitch. That's what? I think that's 5. 3. So hopefully you guys can see it's a small movement. The hitch is a small movement, but it does so much for you. All right. And it is a little bit of a coordination thing. So if you don't feel like you're doing anything, or you don't feel comfortable like you're working anything with the hitch, you just feel awkward, you can take it out. Just stick with the curtsey lunge. Because we're still getting our glute by stretching it right here. Right here, we're stretching the glute. Hitch that hip up like you're trying to get it toward the ceiling and higher than your opposite hip. Whew. Very, very low amount of movement, but again, it does so much. It'll take some coordination, it takes some time getting right, but if you don't feel it, just take it out, don't worry about it. You can always try to add in some extra height, like I said. Give yourself a little bit of extra height. And it's okay if you feel it more on one side than the other as well. You'll probably be stronger on, I would have guessed, your right leg, just because most people got to drive with that right foot. But if you're one of those few that has a left side for their strong side with their legs, you might feel it more on your right side or on your left side. Whichever your weaker side is, you might feel it more there. Keep it up, guys. Take your time coming down. And I just brought my legs too high. Try not to go past 90. All right. Woo. The slower you do those, the harder they'll be. 3 minutes and 30 seconds to go. And another thing you can try to do is start off with your weak leg. For some reason I didn't remember that till now. Remember, it's like you're standing on one leg and you lift the side you have elevated toward the ceiling and you push that glute in. So combining this with the curtsey, we get lots of single leg work, and we're kind of working on balance as well. Which is one of the things our gluteal muscles do, at least the one we're trying to work a little bit more. It does a lot of single leg stabilization. So when you're standing on one leg, that's your stability is, a lot of it's coming from your hip, aka the glute. We got just over 2 minutes to go. Keep it up, guys. I hope you're feeling the burn, because I know I am. If you have heavier weights and you need a little bit more work, grab those weights. Whew. And 10. Whew. We got a minute and 15 seconds to go. Here we go. Don't go past 90 or perpendicular. Exhale. When you lift, drop the legs. When you lift the torso. Ooh. Ooh. Oh boy. All right, we've got 30 seconds to go. I'm gonna alternate with my legs instead of staying on one side to even it out. Do your best to go through the timer. You got it, keep it up. Don't forget to add in that hitch if you're doing it. Six, 5, 4. All right, I was able to squeeze out the last 4. We got a minute break. All right, so next we have plyometric hip thrust. That's gonna get our gluteal, our maximus, the muscle that brings the leg, extends the hip, brings the leg behind your body. That's the bigger one, and that's why we're doing plyometric hip thrust, and not just regular hip thrust, but your modification is just regular hip thrust. So we have plyo hip thrust and Copenhagen plank. All right, so for the plyo hip thrust, you're going to perform a regular hip thrust first. All right, so you're going to start in the up position. Bring the hips up, drop down, do a hip thrust, drop down, explode up. You should be able to get your feet off the ground. And you just keep alternating like that. Regular hip thrust, plyometric hip thrust. Regular hip thrust, plyometric hip thrust. All right? Copenhagen plank or side plank. Side plank is your modification. Copenhagen plank is you bring that top leg down, bend that leg on the floor, and you're holding your weight with your top leg. You're gonna feel that on your inner thigh. Add an elevated surface for additional challenge. You're gonna try to do as long as you can with perfect form. That'll be probably between somewhere in 10 and 30 seconds, and you're holding that on both sides, okay? All right, so here we go. Plyometric hip thrust. And if you're doing a side plank, same thing. As long as you can with perfect form. All right? So you got 10 reps here. Oh, I'm slipping. Okay, so yeah, no weight for me. Starting at the top. Hip thrust. Explode. Hip thrust. Explode. 3, 4. Keep those elbows in the sides on the floor. 7, 8, 9, 10. Whew. So feel that in your hamstrings. Hamstrings and your glute. Feel free to up the count too. I think I'm gonna go to 15. You guys can stick with 10, or you can elevate 15, 20, whichever makes you feel the most comfortable. All right, so I don't know why I got up, but back on the Copenhagen plank, all right? So again, you're bending your leg closer to the floor, and you're bringing your top leg on straight and onto the floor. You're gonna push your hips into the floor and lift your leg touching the floor, off the floor. And you're gonna try to hold here for as long as you can on perfect form. Push your hips, lift your hips toward the ceiling. That'll activate the inner thigh and it'll activate the core. You're not gonna have that top leg completely straight. It will be slightly bent. And you're just gonna do your best to hold your body weight. So again, keep the core tight, keep the hips lifted, push them toward the ceiling. Whew. Yeah, that's hard. But that's the idea. All right, so add an elevated surface if your inner thigh is for some reason really strong. Other than that, doing it flat on the ground should be just enough. All right, so we're back to the hip thrust. I'm adding, going up to 15. So starting at the top, you're gonna hip thrust. Slow it up. 1, 2, 3. Clamp down on the abs. 4 to help you get the most hip extension you can get. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, woo, 12, 13. Don't forget to add that hip thrust in between each one. 15. Oh man. Whew. Okay, what we got? We got 6 minutes even. And this is already going into set number 2. All right. Here we go. And just to be clear, you want to stack your legs as best as you can. So you try to get your knees over top of each other. You'll activate a lot more of your inner thigh if you're able to do that. Whew. So you want to try to push your legs together. Once you elevate them off the floor, push your legs together. Whew. Oh Lord, that was only 15 seconds. Whew. Yeah, this one's tough. But you guys got it. Keep going. I'm not gonna stop. I hope you don't stop either. All right, so back to our plyo hip thrust. Again, if you don't want to do the plyo, just do the regular hip thrust. Just increase your rep count, okay? Drive those heels into the ground. Clamp down on the abs. 3. Push into the ground through those toes to help lift your body off the ground. Whew. Oh boy. Yeah, you feel that a little bit more in your hamstrings by now. Well, I guess maybe I'm a little different. I worked my hamstrings yesterday, so I feel my hamstrings a little bit more right now. 3 minutes, 30 seconds to go. Whew. I think this is number 4, the end of number 4, or the end of number 3. I don't remember. Guess it doesn't really matter, shouldn't be counting. All right, here we go. Remember, squeeze your legs together. Once you elevate your hips, activate the groin, activate the core. That was like 18 seconds there. Okay. I'm not actually counting. I just got my timer right here. So it's counting for me. Can't see it from here, so we'll just hold it as long as I can. Come on, guys, keep it up. Woo. Woo. All right. Oh, Lord. Whew. Your side plank is your modification there as well. Although technically this is a plank variation, you're gonna feel it more in your thighs than you will your core. All right, so again, just like I was saying earlier, focusing on the inner thigh and the glutes. That's why we're using this move as opposed to just like a regular plank. Of course, this is our modification, the regular plank's our modification, side plank, but this is definitely the latter of the two when it comes to difficulty. All right, here we go. Good Lord. Yeah, I'm getting tired. 1, 2, 6, 7. Keep it up, guys. 8. Keep going. 9, 10. Squeeze the glutes as hard as you can at the top for both the jump and the hip thrust. 13, 14, 15. Whew. Oh, we got a minute to go. Whew. All right, so again, even if you need an additional modification, you can just lift yourself just like this, keep that knee on the ground, but drive that top leg into the ground as much as you can. You just don't lift the bottom leg toward your upper leg. You don't remove it off the ground. You keep it there. And even if you want to hold it for longer, you can. Just drop that leg down to the floor. Help support your body weight. As opposed to just dropping all together. 4, 3, and time. Whew. Okay. We're nice and done. So we're gonna be stretching in a second. Just go ahead and come up to your feet. We're gonna start off on our feet, work our way down to the floor. Whew. I hope you guys started sweating. I did, but I ain't got my air on. I always cut my air on after the workout. I always say don't wipe off your sweat, use it to help you cool down, stick your head in the freezer or the fridge or something. All right, just bringing the feet together, folding right over. Take a big breath, bring it on down. Keep taking big breaths. Keep on breathing. and slowly come up. Go ahead, come to the left quad. And I hope you all are going to be do your best to come into the gym, say hi to everybody. We are finally back into the office, but we're on a hybrid schedule. So at McLean, we'll be in the office Monday through Thursday. Fridays, we'll be working virtually. Me and Jess will be alternating switch. We'll be alternating the days we go in on a Monday, Wednesday, Tuesday, Thursday schedule. So feel free to come through, say hi. We love to meet you guys. I've met a handful of you all on, what was it? Yesterday, Monday. Very, very nice people. Y'all are pretty cool. Y'all are pretty cool, I'm right. Relax. Just go ahead and come down to the floor. Come to a butterfly stretch. Just bring the bottoms of your feet together. Bring your shoulders back. Sit up nice and high. Squeeze the glutes to help pull the knees down, stretching out the inner thigh here. And we'll be teaching, or I'll be teaching now Tuesdays and Thursdays. Tuesdays at 11:15, Thursdays at 12:15. Tuesdays, obviously we got kick and push, legs and core, and then Thursday is push and pull for the upper body and core. And relax. Come into a pigeon, a 90-90 stretch. So left leg 90 degrees out to the side, right leg 90 degrees out front. You're going to fold forward, pushing your chest to your leg. Stretching out the glute here. Make sure you keep on breathing. And come up and switch. Just like always, let me know what moves you guys enjoyed, what you didn't. Your feedback is greatly appreciated. And fold over. And go ahead, come up. And that is our class for today. So thank you all for joining me. My name is Alex. I hope to see you all soon on Thursday and next week. So y'all have a good day. Holla.